What's going on, DMV fanatics, Cowboy faithful? It's your boy DMV back with another one, and I'm starting my workday off, and I wanted to, talk to you guys because my guy Mike Tannehill, aka Mike Teasy, on Facebook came up with a great topic, and it was, who's your running back in history, as far as who's your guy, and the four that he had up was Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, and Emmitt Smith. Those four, and of those four, he said that if none of those four were in yours, I can't remember exactly what he said, but for me, it was a great question. And for me, out of that group, you guys know I'm an Emmitt guy, so that goes without saying. But in history, I got to go with Jim Brown, man, because Jim Brown was absolutely the prototype for the position. But let me tell you why. See, a lot of people when they look at running backs, they look at the razzle dazzle, they look at the the cuts, they look at the highlights. They don't really look at the nuance of the position. They don't look at pass blocking. They don't look at setting up your blocks at the second level, being able to understand blocking schemes, and being able to know when to take the 3-yard run opposed to trying to hit the home run and stuff like that. So I look at all of those things. And when I played at Howard University, I wasn't necessarily a starter. Of course I wasn't a starter. I'm not going to say necessarily I wasn't a starter. I was a walk-on. I walked on. A lot of people respected me over there. I wasn't a scholarship guy. But one thing that I wanted to necessarily do when I did step in was play my role, and my role was to do scout team. So one of the things that I always made sure that I did was always study the position. It's more than just playing, but study. I always made sure that I watched the scout team running back the week that we were playing, because I had to give the defense a look. So, and I don't want to minimize my own reps on the scout team, or else I wasn't getting better. But on top of that, I watched running backs throughout the league, throughout history, and when you're studying, man, you can go down a wormhole of those type of things. And I always start with the main guys: Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Earl Campbell, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders. I mean, the list could go on, man. And one of my favorite guys to actually watch was Marion Barber. I wasn't a bruiser. I wasn't going to run through you like that. But you always want to make sure that you take facets from the next guy's game to add to yours, because you want to be versatile. Emmitt Smith, probably, if I had to say that there was probably a versatile back, I would say Emmitt Smith is probably the most versatile back that there is. Barry Sanders was a guy that was just great with his vision, with his cuts and stuff like that. Walter Payton, man, oh my God, dude, Walter Payton. I can go on and on about him, but when you talk about workhorse, my God, that dude was a workhorse. Earl Campbell, workhorse. Man, I can go on and on about backs out there. Eric Dickerson, oh my God. You talk about a guy who still holds the record for the most yards, Adrian Peterson, who came upon the scene. Adrian Peterson could have played in any era. He was old school and new school at the same time. So, man, it's a tough question. And for me, I really love the versatility. Jim Brown, though, is my prototype. I think that he's like the LeBron James of back then, of the 60s. And I think that he could play in any era. He's tough. He just dominated like no other. And he stopped his career real short. You know what I mean? Kind of like Barry Sanders did. But I think that Jim Brown dominated more than Barry Sanders. Because if you look at the seasons back then, he had less games. And dude was just putting up astronomical numbers in that time. And he was just so much bigger than everybody, so much faster, so much stronger. It was just absolutely crazy how he dominated. So what I would do is I would recommend you guys going back and looking at Jim Brown highlights, because I mean, they ain't gonna obviously had no full games back then. But let me know what you guys think, man. Who is your running back in history? And tell me why in the comment section. All right, guys. Peace.